everyone, this is Zach with StrictlyShisha, and I'm joined with
Amala. How's it going, guys?
And today we're doing a review on
the Georgia peach, otherwise known as the apple on top.
Because it's got that peach color. You see that? See that? Oh, so this is the apple on top bowl. What's the setup?
So we are smoking.
Don't talk about the smoke now.
Yeah, seriously.
It's too smoky for her.
We are smoking out of my Starburst den with a boho base, with haze inside, and just tap water in the base with an aluminum dream hose.
So the apple on top bowl, I hear a lot of good things about it, I heard a lot of bad things about it, and I've had this for a while now, but I want to put it through some rigorous testing so I can get my full opinion about it, because there is a lot of negative thoughts about it on the market. People say that they're getting headaches from it because it is packing so much tobacco in there, or it lasts too long, or wastes too much tobacco. Based off the things you've heard, and now you're finally smoking for the first time, what are your initial thoughts and actually how they're translating through the actual session?
I've actually been really excited to try this product out just because I've been really curious about it. One of the cool things that I like is that it's really good for group sessions. I like the setup. I like the fact that you don't have to burn your hand on it. It has a couple of cool features. I think that it's a great occasional use. I wouldn't use it every single day because I don't smoke that much tobacco, but I think it's an interesting product.
Just like Kohl's, just like everything else, there is so many varieties of Kohl's and bowls on the market for every different circumstance. You have high heat Kohl's, low heat Kohl's for depending on your session. Same thing with this. You have Samsarises, you have Egyptian bowls, you have funnel bowls, you have so many different kinds of bowls on the market to fit every circumstance. I would recommend using this bowl when you want to smoke for a longer session. This is not a 45-minute bowl. You are packing a lot of tobacco in this, so you want to kind of plan accordingly. So I tend to use this when we're hanging out and we plan on smoking for 2 or 3 hours. This bowl can keep up with that. This bowl allows you to smoke for longer if you choose to. Or if I'm watching a movie and I don't want to be interrupted by packing multiple bowls in one movie, or a two-hour-long movie, I'd have to pack 2 bowls because the flavor goes away. This allows me to smoke the duration of the movie without having to pack another bowl. So I see why this is invented, why this is a great product, why is there a reason to have this on the market. So the apple on top, the first thing it does, it elongates your session, so that works perfectly. Now, a lot of people talk about packing a lot of tobacco, and I'll go out to the packing right now so you guys can see actually how I pack it. So this is how you pack the apple on top. Today we're doing a mix of haze, trash can punch, a little bit of 5 cents a cup, and mostly what a mint. So just kind of do the mixture, whatever ratios you prefer. Mix it all up, and kind of just drop it in here, kind of fluffed it. Just drop it up here. I've heard that you kind of want to do it like an overpack. You kind of want a 1/4 inch to 3/4 of an inch above the rim. So I kind of just eyeball it. I don't really measure it by any means. And it kind of looks like this, right there. Just kind of just messy all over the top. Take my fingers now and kind of push it down, dense it back in here. Kind of nice and dense, all the way around, even. The holes are covered right now, but I will clear those so you get proper airflow. So once it's nice and even, nice and flat all the way around, just use your finger. I take a butter knife or something similar with a flat surface to kind of move it away from the spire and keep it dense and move it against the walls. Because this is an aluminum core bowl, you want to make sure that the outside of the tobacco is really close to the edge of the bowl. We want solid contact all the way around here so it bakes evenly. And you kind of just remove this from around the edges. Okay. So you get airflow and no blockage. Then I go back and I kind of just flatten it down. So you want it so it's pretty dense and then around, and it ends up being not around the spire. And the goal is to have a completely flat surface that does a complete drop off to where that is there, and you get kind of like a wall around it. But you want a flat surface all the way, almost level to the rim. So this is pretty much the final product. It is just slightly under the rim, or you can do it at the rim, it will not burn. You have a flat surface all the way around with an immediate drop to clear the center spire there. And as you can see, this was a bit of a tedious pack, so Christian or Hookah Chef has a pretty good tip on here. If you use I guess a socket wrench bolt, around the center here you can pack it pretty easily and get that nice even drop without having to fight with it like I am. So Christian, your method works out pretty well, but this is pretty much the pack of the apple on top. As you can see, it took me a minute to pack it, but once you get down that method, there is a bit of a learning curve to it. But once you get it down, it's honestly not that hard. Like you saw,
yeah, it's just like honestly learning how to pack any other bowl. There's a certain way of packing it, a certain way of packing an Egyptian bowl, a certain way of packing a funnel bowl. It's just something that, you know, takes 1 or 2 times and you got it down.
Yeah. And yeah, it uses a lot of tobacco, but the way it's designed with that aluminum core, I feel like you honestly utilize every gram of tobacco you pack in there. And it's so cool. The way when you clean this out and you've gone through 2 rounds of coals, it burns so evenly. You get this even donut of tobacco that is perfectly burned throughout. And one of the coolest things for me is cleaning this bowl. I hate cleaning stuff, and this is the easiest bowl I've ever cleaned. The Teflon coating, whatever coating they have on the inside of this bowl, is amazing. It's literally non-stick. When you're done and it's burned through, you literally can just pick up that burnt like donut of tobacco and throw it away and wipe it out, and you're ready to go. I wish they could apply that method of this non-stick to like the Lotus, for example, because the Lotus is miserable to clean. And your overpack, when you have to clean it, isn't it miserable?
It's pretty miserable. You have to take a paring knife to it, you have to soak it in hot water. It's a hassle.
You don't have to worry about with the apple on top. The apple on top is the easiest clean.
Yeah, definitely.
How does it perform for you?
I think that it performs pretty well, and you're about to see with some clouds.
Cloud output is great. We've already been smoking for about 45 minutes to an hour now. So you're seeing kind of like the tail end of what a normal session would look like. And we are still in our prime, right?
Yeah, definitely.
How's it taste?
You can taste literally every single flavor that we packed. You can taste a little bit of the lime, a little bit of the mint. It's just a great way of like combining a bunch of different flavors that you have and then putting it into that, and you just get every single flavor humanly possible.
Yeah, I tend to, like, I'm really hesitant to pack like all my like 100-gram containers in this. I kind of tend like a bunch of like stuff that I don't smoke that often or I don't really care for that much in this bowl and create like a medley of flavors. And it tends to work out every single time. I go to the back of my shelf, pull out the flavors I don't smoke that often and I don't really care about anymore. And I always get really great results of this because you're able to really mix and kind of utilize all those different tobaccos.
I think it would be really great, especially for lounges when people are like, oh, can I get this flavor and this flavor and this flavor? It might just be a really great way to, you know, get those long lounge sessions that you usually have in a lounge, and experience like all those different flavors that you want to be able to try.
Exactly. So when it comes to cloud output, as you can see, it's working very well. When it comes to flavor, I mean, it's very well. I mean, the design of this thing, there's no design flaws that I've seen from this. Everything from the aluminum core burns evenly throughout, through to the silicone on the outside. So we're actually mid-session and we're having an air leak with this Regal, so I wanted to show that because this has a silicone outer layer, I can actually remove it with the coals on currently without burning the hell out of my hand, which I'm notorious for doing. And you don't need a grommet because there is one built in, and it is a removable grommet so you can clean it. This bottom metal ring is warm though, please be careful. And all I do is I set it on top, and then I kind of stick my fingers in between these silicone pieces here and kind of push it down. And as you can see, I was able to fully hold the actual bowl with coals on and not burn myself, which I've done many times with many other bowls. So that's really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
And in terms of the Provost, for $35, you are getting just the apple on top bowl, and I'm sure all your vendors carry it, so check out whatever vendor you prefer to pick it up. But I don't even think the Provost is a necessary accessory. It works very well without the Provost, with the built-in wind screen. And I just use 4 coals to Stonehenge, and it works very well. With the Provost, I'm able to kind of take it down to only 2 flats. 2 cubes, I'm getting a little too much heat. So the Provost does work well, but it doesn't really enhance the smoke or flavor. It kind of just saves you on coals. So it would be a good investment later on down the road. You are saving money on coals, but it's not a necessary accessory. I mean, as is, the apple on top by itself works very well. And even though the coals kind of black out when you keep them Stonehenge, I mean, it works very, very well.
It does extremely well, and the fact that like the top of the screen kind of acts as like another miniature tray. You don't have to worry about your coals sliding around. It's just a great overall product, I think.
Just want to point out something real quick and do an up close. As you can see here, if you hold this little tab, which does not get hot, you can pivot these coals around the bowl, and they pivot around a center point, so it pivots really nicely. It's not just sitting in an outside groove, it's actually sitting with that center post in the middle. So you can kind of adjust the coals as they burn and burn the tobacco evenly. Yeah, and I mean, if you're going to compare this to the other heat management systems on the market, like the Samsars with the Lotus, or the Manzari, or the Glider Bowl, I mean, this competes with them directly. I mean, it is a very good competitor. Like I said, no design flaws. It works very well. I'd say this is kind of different from the rest of those because you're getting even longer sessions out of this. So, I mean, it's very well. It's a standalone, works very well. I really like it.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about it is the fact that Zach told me to pick up the top of the Provost and it has that green leaf on it. And I was actually pretty terrified to pick it up just because I've burned myself multiple times on my Lotus just picking that up because the heat radiates throughout. And this does not, and it's great the fact that I can just pick it up and not worry about burning myself.
Yeah. So one more thing I want to mention, this is the newer generation of the apple on top. I believe the older generations were slightly different in design. The actual apple, which actually looks like a core of an apple in the middle, this has larger airflow holes. So the airflow on this is perfect, that we're getting very little restriction from the bowl itself. So you can have those nice open draw sessions if you prefer them. Everything that's advertised to do, it does. So all the negative hype about this product, and they say, you know, it's too long or whatever, I just say just plan accordingly. If you want those long sessions on a day where you want a long session, this would be a great product to use. If you're just smoking by yourself and you only want 45-minute session, I wouldn't use this. I would use my Samsaris and my Lotus because I save more shisha with that.
Definitely.
Thank you very much for watching. This was our review on the apple on top. Hope you guys check it out, and thank you guys. See you, bye.
Bye.